3 years from now, you'll either look back and say, that's when everything started changing for me, or you'll sigh and think, wow, I'm literally in the same spot I was 3 years ago. And it all comes down to one decision. Not a lottery ticket, not a perfect calendar app, not even that random motivational video that gave you goosebumps for 5 minutes. I'm talking about a choice so simple it almost feels fake, but it's real. And it quietly controls whether your next 3 years are a launch pad or a waiting room. Because here's the truth, 3 years is long enough to reinvent your health, your career, your bank account, even your relationships. But it's also short enough to completely waste if you miss this one fork in the road. And the wild part, most people don't even know when they're standing at it. So what's this decision and why does it decide everything? To really get it, we need to zoom in on how small choices snowball into massive futures. Imagine a line of dominoes. The first one looks tiny, unimpressive, but knock it over and bam, it smashes the next one and the next, until eventually you're toppling pieces 10 times, 100 times bigger. That's your life over 3 years. One choice, whether to keep drifting or to commit to something real, sets the first domino in motion. And if you think small choices don't matter, remember this. Research shows that just one new keystone habit can ripple through dozens of other areas. Start cooking at home more often. You don't just eat better, you spend less money, you sleep better, you even improve your mood. This is why that one decision is so dangerous to ignore. It doesn't just affect tomorrow, it dictates the rhythm of the next 1,000 tomorrows. Think about deciding to walk every morning. At first, it's just a 20-minute stroll, but soon you're cooking more instead of ordering food, you've got more energy at work, and suddenly that little walk has reshaped your health, your wallet, and even your confidence. And here's the kicker. The first domino always looks harmless. You don't realize how big the chain reaction is until much later. But to see how this actually plays out in real life, we've got to look at something called path dependence. Path dependence sounds complicated, but it's really just this. Once you start walking down a road, it gets harder and harder to turn around. Think about typing on a keyboard. The QWERTY layout wasn't chosen because it was the best. It just got adopted early and became the standard. And now, decades later, we're all locked into it, even though better designs exist. Your life works the same way. The job you accept today, it doesn't just pay your bills, it becomes your network, your resume, your future offers. The habits you reinforce right now, they become your default operating system for years. How about your first credit card? Maybe you signed up because they were giving out a free water bottle at a college booth. Years later, you're still using that card, not because it's the best, but because switching feels like a hassle. Life decisions work the same way. Once you pick a lane, inertia keeps you there. 3 years from now, you'll either be enjoying the compound interest of good paths or stuck in a loop of bad defaults. And most people don't realize that saying yes to one path is automatically saying no to dozens of others. But why are we so bad at making these decisions early? The answer lies in how our brains are wired, and it explains why so many people stay stuck. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Your brain is biased against your future self. Psychologists call it present bias. Basically, we treat our future self like a stranger. We'll happily dump problems onto them. I'll start working out later. I'll save money next year. I'll quit scrolling tomorrow. But when tomorrow comes, we do it again and again, until 3 years have passed and we're still about to start. Studies even show that when people are shown pictures of their aged selves, they suddenly save more for retirement because they finally see future them as a real person, not some imaginary ghost. It's like ordering pizza tonight even though you told yourself you'd eat clean starting Monday. You don't feel the damage in the moment, but 3 years of Monday starts later, your health and bank account have absorbed every skipped salad. This bias is why the one decision matters so much. You're not just choosing for yourself today, you're choosing for a version of you in the future who either thanks you or resents you. So how do you actually outsmart this bias and make choices that stick? That's where the idea of great decisions comes in. Now, this is a secret almost no one talks about. You don't need to make perfect decisions every day. You just need a few great ones each year. Think about it. If you made just 3 life-shifting decisions per year, that's 9 total over 3 years, you'd have a completely different trajectory. That's less than 1% of all the choices you make. Imagine the difference between choosing to start a side hustle versus debating endlessly what to order for lunch. One decision echoes for years, the other evaporates in an hour. The trick is recognizing when you're at one of those critical crossroads. It could be deciding to commit to building a business instead of drifting, choosing to prioritize health before you burn out, saying yes to a new city or no to a draining relationship. But here's the problem. Most people miss these moments. They treat them like they're ordinary, only realizing years later that those were the turning points. And what makes missing them even worse? Something called decision paralysis. Ever stood in front of a Netflix menu for 20 minutes, scrolling endlessly, only to end up rewatching the same show again? That's decision paralysis in action. Too many options, too much pressure. And when the stakes are high, it only gets worse. When it comes to your next 3 years, this paralysis can be deadly because the longer you stall, the more life decides for you. Not making a choice is actually a choice, and usually not the one you'd want. Ever spent months thinking about switching jobs but couldn't pick between offers? Then suddenly 3 months go by and the best opportunity disappears? That's paralysis robbing your future while you hesitate. So how do you break free? 3 quick hacks. 1. Autistic. Down. Stop thinking in forever. Just commit for 6 months and reevaluate. Gang. Check. If you secretly know the answer but are scared, that's your real answer. X sacrifices. There is no flawless option, so stop looking for it and just choose one. 3 years is 1,000 days, and every day compounds. Read 20 pages a day, that's over 20 books a year, 60 plus in 3 years. Invest $15 a day with average returns, that's thousands by year 3. Work on a side hustle 1 focused hour a day, that's over 1,000 hours, enough to build a new career. Picture brushing your teeth. You don't notice the difference after a day, but do it daily for 3 years and your dentist says, great job. Skip it daily for 3 years and, well, you're funding his next vacation. Habits compound, whether you notice or not. The problem isn't that 3 years isn't enough. The problem is that people underestimate how much they can do in that window if they actually commit. And this is why the one decision is so powerful. Because once you say yes, really yes, to a path, compounding takes over. The days stack, the habits click, the future bends. Which brings us back to the real question. What happens if you don't make the decision at all? You'll either meet the version of yourself who's proud you made the call, or the one who wishes you had. And that's the real weight of this decision. It's not about choosing perfectly, it's about choosing at all. Because while everyone else spends the next 1,000 days waiting for another TikTok motivation video, waiting for some magical signal, you'll already be 3 years deep into building something real. The next 3 years are coming no matter what. The only question is, will they be the years that change everything, or the years that just pass by? The decision is yours. If you're ready to make the one decision and dominate your decade, smash that subscribe and like button like it owes you money. Drop a 1 in the comments if you're going to make that one decision now because you're done waiting and you're done making excuses. It's up to you. So what is it going to be? Make yourself proud.